Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. It's maybe Good Friday, but we're going to do the video as normal today at Gazovid. So we're looking at month ahead. It's JMA Friday. We'll be checking out the Japanese and CFS V2 models to see what they're showing for the coming month. This takes us in towards, anyway, not up to the end of April, but in towards the end of April. So we're going to go well on into the second month of spring with this update. Now, before we get on with that, just very quickly to mention the ads. There's links to articles on all the pages at Gazovitz. Have a browse through widgets and click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in. Thanks so much for doing that. There's video ads on most of the pages which open up the content when you watch them, they'll close back up again. And it all helps to pay for our website. Just about competition, it's day 6 of the prize draw in association with metcheck.co.uk weather instrumentation. So if you haven't seen the prize yet, this is the prize that we're giving away. It's a digital thermometer and it's worth £25.50, so it's a fantastic prize. As I say, we're in association with metcheck.co.uk weather instrumentation. All you have to do if you want to enter the prize draw is just email your name and postal address to gazovitz@gmail.com and that will enter you into the prize draw. And that's what you do. And on 7 o'clock in the evening, on the competitions page at gazovitz.com, one name can be drawn out of a bag at random. That person will be winning this digital thermometer. So from the comfort of your own home, you don't have to do anything else other than fire off an email, which can take about 30 seconds. From the comfort of your own home, you could be the proud owner on Sunday evening of a digital thermometer. So you haven't entered yet, been a fantastic response. I know most of you have entered probably by now, but if you haven't entered yet, you've still got time. But only a couple of days left on this now, so do get on with it if you haven't done so yet. Right, let's have a look at the weather then, and we've got a nice day today for Good Friday. This is definitely the best day of the bank holiday weekend. Make the most of it. If you've got any plans, you want to go out or get into the garden, today's the day to do it. This is the Euro 4 precipitation forecast for tomorrow afternoon. This is from website Weather Online. Just look how wet it's predicted to be across the country tomorrow. So if you're wondering where the rain has got to on this bank holiday, it's on its way and it'll be with us tomorrow. And they'll have more showers or longer spells of rain through Sunday and especially Bank Holiday Monday. Now, Bank Holiday Monday is potentially quite windy as well, particularly in the south. So wet, windy, not a very inspiring Bank Holiday Monday this year. Okay, let's get on with the month-ahead look ahead, and we're going to start off with 500 millibar height anomalies from the JMA, the Japanese model. These are broken down into weekly periods. The first week period will take us from today, the 25th of March, through to the 1st of April. Blue is extrapolating to low pressure, yellow, orange and red extrapolating to high pressure. So for the coming week, we see a trough of low pressure in the Atlantic. I think I better change the colour there. Trough of low pressure in the Atlantic Ocean, and then a trough of low pressure is generally around and to the west of the country, and this is driving in these westerly winds, so it's going to be really unsettled through the coming week. There'll be showers or longer spells of rain. It's a very Atlantic driven pattern as well, so showers or longer spells of rain through the course of the coming week, with low pressure driving in off the Atlantic. The jet stream's a bit to the south as well, so it's not going to be very mild. Have a look at week 2. This takes us from the 1st through to the 8th of April. We still have low pressure generally to the west, but this is a little bit more to the southwest of the country. You have this ridge here up to the east and the northeast. It's still unsettled with this one, but the flow probably going more like that. So I think this is warmer week. This is a warmer week with the air coming up from the south or the southwest. A slight realignment between the trough and the ridge should allow us to get somewhat milder through that first week of April. And then week 3 and week 4, this going from the 8th through to the 22nd of April. This one shows quite a lot of ridging to the north around Greenland and Iceland. We've got high pressure sitting up here, and then we've got trough of low pressure generally going to the south. So the jet stream is on a southerly track here, and well, we could be putting down some quite cool air via this blocking up to the north into this trough. So well, it's unsettled still through this middle part of April, and potentially going a bit colder, I would think, as well. As I say, this is fairly extensive blocking sitting over Greenland, and it could be entrenching some pretty cold air into that trough of low pressure. That's the Northern Hemisphere view, looking down from the North Pole. Let's have a look at the tropics and the mid-latitude view. So on this chart, the British Isles is just here in the far top right hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it. Again, it's broken down into weekly periods. So the first week is the coming week, today, the 25th, through to the 1st of April. We know pattern we've got for this week, a very deep trough of low pressure, is in the Atlantic Ocean just to the west of us. So the temperatures for the coming week, well, not deviating too far from average, really. Very close to normal there, maybe hinted a little bit below average for the west and perhaps a little bit above for northeastern Scotland. But I think overall average temperatures for the coming week. In terms of rainfall, well, with such a deep trough sitting just to the west of us, you'll not be surprised, though it's a pretty wet week, so rainfall is coming out significantly above average. Week 2 looks like this, and it's very similar to week 1, but the difference is that the trough is a little bit further away from us out to the west, and we've got this ridge building. I have to go over to this side of the chart. We've got this ridge building to the east, which probably turns the winds more to the south and the southwest across the country. So that means temperatures should lift up through this first week of April. It does look milder, with temperatures going above average. In terms of the rainfall, staying a bit wetter than average, but not as bad as the first week. Nevertheless, still generally precipitation coming out above average for the first week of April. And then we go through to week 3 and week 4, and we can't see the North Pole on this. We can't see green, but we know we've got a ridge sitting up here somewhere, and this trough of low pressure to the south, which means a jet stream is probably going to the south of us as well. So for this one, the temperatures are sliding. It's not forecasting particularly cold temperatures, but we are going further down towards average, or further back towards average. So we have that warmer week through the first week of April, and then we see the temperatures returning closer to normal through the middle part of April. The precipitation, the rainfall, that's coming out generally wetter than average as well. So quite a wet month coming up, actually, and the temperatures are a little bit up and down, starting off fairly cool, then going warmer for a time for the first week of April, and then back towards near normal temperature. But I would suspect perhaps even a bit cooler than average through week 3 and week 4. That was the JMA. This is the CFS V2. Again, 500 millibar heights broken down into weekly periods. The first week period, again, taking us from the 25th of March through to the 31st. We've got a trough of low pressure to the west of us, so it's very, very similar, actually, this to what we've just seen with the JMA. The jet stream coming right through the country, trough of low pressure to the west. Going to be an unsettled week if that's right, with a lot of showers or longer spells of rain driving in. Week 2, going from the 1st through to the 7th of April, very similar, but a slight adjustment means that the trough is a little bit further to the southwest. We've got this ridge building through central parts of Europe, and this means that the jet stream goes a little bit like that. So in agreement, really, for the first week of April with the CFS and JMA, but it should, although it's still unsettled, it should be a slightly warmer week through that first week of April. What happens as we get through to weeks 3 and 4? This is week 3. And again, very similar to the JMA in that we're building quite a bit of ridging here across Greenland. So signs of northern blocking there, seen to the north of the country. Trough of low pressure is generally going to the south of the country. Jet stream probably doing something like that. But watch out for this blocking. It is extensive across Greenland, and it could be entrenching colder air down into this trough. It's a little bit hard to decipher whether it is on this chart, but that is pretty extensive blocking sitting to the north. And then finally, week 4 looking like this. The trough is pulling further away, so I think this is settling down. Building a ridge building to the south. Still got signs of blocking though to the north, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. That's quite a complicated one. Probably bringing the jet stream through the country, but this high pressure building to the south could be quite nice, and it could start to extend some warmer weather up from the south, perhaps through the 15th through to 21st of April. Let's see what the temperatures are doing. The coming week looking pretty cool, really. Average to slightly cooler than average being hinted at there. Week 2, 1st to the 7th of April. This is one that does look warmer, so the temperature anomalies going above average. So I've got agreement there between the JMA and the CFS that we should have some warmer weather through the first week of April. How long does it last? Well, it's still a bit warmer than average across the south through the 8th to the 14th of April, but less so. Looks like temperatures are lowering there, really, as we're going through that week. It could be transitional, so starting off around the 8th, 9th, still fairly mild, and then turning colder, perhaps via that northern blocking, as we go through into towards the middle part of April. And then week 4, the 15th through the 21st of April, that one looking near normal as well. So we get that one warmer week through the first week of April. Then it looks like we return close to average, really, through week 3 and week 4. Precipitation for the coming week, significantly wetter than average from the 25th through to the 31st of March. 1st to the 7th of April, this is a warmer week, and that's looking quite wet as well. So it may be warmer, but it looks like it's still going to be unsettled through the first week of April. And then we go to week 3. That one having above average precipitation as well, but less so. So it isn't as wet, but generally still above average with rainfall. And then finally, week 4, we end up from the 15th through the 21st of April, generally about average. You'll notice as we go along into weeks 3 and week 4, we just generally lose the colours, and I think what happens is that the model kind of loses the signal, really, as it gets through into week 3 and week 4. But we've got pretty good agreement here between the CFS and the JMA as to the way forward. So the coming week looks really unsettled and quite cool as well, with a fair amount of rain to end March. The start of April, the first week of April, looks warmer. Both of these models in agreement that we should get a warmer start to April. But still probably unsettled, perhaps less so than the last week of March, but nevertheless probably still a bit wetter than average. And then the 3rd and 4th weeks going up to the middle part of April into the 3rd week of the month, it probably turns a bit cooler, if anything. I don't think we sustain that warm start to the month all that long, and we just get near normal temperatures and probably still generally a bit unsettled. There is hints of northern blocking setting up around the middle part of April. If that does set up, then watch out for the chance of colder weather actually through the middle part of the month, but that's a little bit uncertain. So as ever, we'll see how it pans out. Looks like we've got some warm weather for the first week of April anyway. We'll see how it pans out. These long range models are always experimental, so it's not to be relied upon. That's it for now. Weekend forecast tomorrow. We'll also be looking at ENSO and El Nino as well tomorrow in the evening at Gasworthy's. On Sunday, we've got our first summer forecast. And of course, we're giving away the prize on Easter Sunday evening. Right, that's it for now. Enjoy the rest of your Good Friday. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.